How's it going, everyone? Oculus VR here. Hope you're having an awesome day. And today we'll be talking about my least favorite VR game. Now, I love VR, if you guys already didn't know that, and I used to think there were no bad VR games because everything I had played up to that point had been at least decent, but I was pretty wrong. So what game am I talking about? Well, it might make a few of you upset, but the game is Orbus VR, but you probably already know that because it's on the screen. Now, let me just state before I get any hate comments, if you like this game, I can see why. The idea is good and it has a great community, but I personally had a very bad experience with it, so that's what I'll be discussing. So if you enjoyed the game, that's great, let me know what you like about it, but I personally didn't like it. So back in the middle of quarantine, I wanted a VR game that made it feel like I was outside my house, a game that feels very open. So I looked around and watched some YouTube videos, and I heard a lot of good things about Orbus VR. So I spent $20 on it because it had some pretty great reviews. This game was just what I wanted, an MMORPG game with 100 plus hours of content with a dedicated community. That sounds awesome. But I was wrong. If you don't know what the game is, I'll show you. This is straight from the Orbus VR website. Orbus VR is the first fully realized fantasy MMORPG, designed exclusively for room scale VR. It features everything you love about an MMO. A huge open world, hundreds of hours of quests, dragon pets, 5-player group dungeons, 10-player raids, voice chat, player trading, and more. With VR, you can immerse yourself in a fantasy like never before, whether you're swinging a sword, or drawing spells with a wand, or casting a line from your fishing pole, or harvesting ingredients. You'll find that Orbus VR is unlike any other MMO you've ever played. So here are my problems with it. As soon as I booted up the game, I was kind of surprised with the graphics. They kind of hurt my eyes, but I decided that it wasn't so bad that I couldn't play it. Then, I made my character and started my journey. I was greeted with the main tutorial NPC. He told me to pick a class, and I think I chose the swordsman, whatever it's called, and he showed me some of the mechanics. And he told me about this compass thing that was on my shoulder, and the compass had so many locations and people on it that I could barely read anything. Then, if you turn the compass upside down, you could see like the player journal, and it was really confusing because I could barely read it. And then the NPC told me to go gather some mushrooms. So I went over, I think I gathered like 10 mushrooms, and then he told me to enter the main area. I could see many people gathering and having conversations and looking like they were having a pretty good time, but I also saw a lot of level 1 to 5 players walking around. I talked to the NPC and got some quests, but the quest objectives were so confusing and they actually overlapped quite a bit. I swear I walked around for a good 20 minutes trying to find the dang dragon shop. You know, you'd think the dragon shop, which is kind of a main mechanic and one of the first ever quests you do, would be front and center. Nope. I had to walk underground, find a tunnel, and follow that tunnel to the dragon shop, which doesn't sound that bad, but I had to walk a good 5 minutes. Then I thought, that must be why the game has 100 hours of content. 90% of it is walking. So then I finally arrived at the dragon shop and they told me I needed currency. What? Why? And I can't remember what it was. I think it was like crystals or something. So then I walked all the way back to the main place and had no clue what to do. You know, I'm not going to go over everything else, but I restarted the game and made a new character and actually got a few more objectives completed. But then I hit a part where the game got unclear and confusing. Now let me tell you something. This game's tutorial is terrible. It's so bad. It's so unclear what you're supposed to do. You get so many quests and objectives, you don't know what you're supposed to do first. You have to watch YouTube videos or do research to figure out what you're supposed to do as soon as you boot up the game. You're not supposed to do that. Okay, so that was my first experience. I probably had a good 2.5 hours in this game, so I really did give it a good try, so don't say I didn't. But this game is so convoluted and it's way too difficult to fully understand this game and to get started. I probably got to around level 8, but this game really didn't feel rewarding or feel like there was a good reason to keep playing or to even finish the game. This game also has its fair share of bugs. At one point, I got stuck in the ground for some reason. Maybe it was my tracking, but I had to restart the game to figure it out and fix it. And then when I did anything kind of demanding, the game would lag really bad. And sometimes when it would render a new part of the game would just crash. It would just crash. I think this game crashed around 8 times in the 2 hours I played it. But yeah, I ran into quite a few bugs when I was playing this. This game doesn't look too good. The player house, which is like one of the main places you play, had like purple and pink on the walls. And whenever you go outside, it was super bright. And whenever you go under the tunnels and like that underground place, it was super dark. So it was really hard to look at. I had a headache after playing it every single time. So that's a quick description of my experience with Orbus VR. I think this game is muddled and confusing and hard to look at. This game has no real reason to keep playing and doesn't want to make me try again. Real quick, since I've roasted this game all video, I'll tell you all the good things about it. This game's community, it's honestly amazing. When I booted up the game, there was a kid who was max level and asked me if I needed any help. I didn't think I needed any help at the time. And either a developer or a diehard fan gave me a really cool dragon for absolutely nothing, and I thought that was really nice. So if you like games with great communities, I would recommend you check this out, but if you don't like that kind of stuff and want an action-packed, fast-paced game, this game is not for you. So that's going to be it for me today. Kind of a long video, but that's always good. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, you should hit that like button, and if you disagree with me, it wouldn't hurt to hit that dislike button. If you enjoy my content, then you should really subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Have an absolutely amazing day, have fun exploring that virtual world, and take care.